Let's look at the life of a man whose wealth grows by $147 every minute. If you're new to the channel and you want to see the luxurious life that the 1% live in, subscribe and click the bell. That way you never miss a video. Make sure you stay until the very end, where we'll show you how one of the richest people in the world celebrates his birthday. Whilst the title of richest person on earth seems to pass between whichever tech billionaire posted the funniest tweet last week, none of them have anywhere near the physical wealth of the man in today's video. Tech billionaires have their wealth tied up in their companies, while Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah has his wealth on show for the whole world to see. But who is Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah? At 75 years old, the Sultan of Brunei, Hassan al-Bolkiah, was born on July 15, 1946, the son of Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin III. Sultan Omar Ali Saifuddin had 10 children, 6 daughters and 4 sons, with several wives, but chose Bolkiah to succeed him from an early age. Hassan was educated privately and later attended the Victoria Institution in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and the Royal Academy at Sandhurst in England. As the leader of the tiny Asian nation of Brunei, he rules over a population of 437,483 people. It seems though that in that population he couldn't find anyone to help him run the country. Currently, he's the absolute monarch and leader of the Islamic faith, and after Queen Elizabeth II, the Sultan is the second longest reigning monarch in history. He also works as the country's Prime Minister, Finance Minister, Superintendent of Police, Foreign Affairs Minister, Trade Minister, Defense Minister, and Chancellor of the National University. Working that many jobs, it's no wonder his net worth is $30 billion. Of course, you don't get that much money just by working your day job, even if you do have 9 of them. The early years of Bolkiah's rule also coincided with the discovery of huge reserves of liquefied natural gas and up to 5 oil fields off the coast of the country. While oil had already been found in the country in the 1920s, the combination of these discoveries would supercharge Brunei's finances and that of the Sultan's. The major oil production company of the country is Brunei Shell Petroleum. This is a joint venture owned by the Brunei government and the Royal Dutch Shell Group of companies. Its refinery produces up to 10,000 barrels of oil a day, making the Sultan roughly $1.24 a second. The Sultan's wealth is derived largely from the state's numerous businesses and ventures. Some of these are expected to contribute money to the monarchy, and others are just owned by the government outright. Being the Sultan is the ruler, most profits are transferred to him regardless. Brunei has been increasingly spurred on to cease its colonial ties with the UK, which had been in existence since the country helped to quash an attempted rebellion in the early 1960s. On the 1st of January 1984, the Sultan read out a proclamation of independence and assumed the titles of His Majesty and Prime Minister. It was after this independence was granted to the Sultan became the richest man in the world, when in 1987 his wealth was calculated to be a whopping $40 billion. And this is when his spending really started to take off. To commemorate the independence, the Sultan initiated the building of the Istana Nurul Iman Palace. Taking 2 years and $1 billion to build, the Guinness Book of Records states that it's the largest royal residence in the world, covering 2.15 million square feet of space. It also serves as the seat of the country's government. The palace is located in the capital Bandar Seri Begawan and has 1,788 rooms decorated with marble from Italy, fine silks from China, diamond fixtures and gold woven into the carpet. It has 5 pools, 2 mosques, a banquet hall to fit up to 5,000 guests, and is adorned with priceless works of art by the likes of Claude Monet and Pablo Picasso. A banquet hall that can accommodate up to 5,000 guests and a mosque accommodating 1,500 people are 2 of the most impressive spaces in the palace. The Sultan also has a penchant for art and paid $70 million for a single oil painting by French impressionist Pierre-Auguste Renoir, 2 young girls at the piano. The most ridiculous thing about this palace though has to be the garage. Or should I say garages? There are 110 of them after all. In keeping with its use as the Sultan's personal residence, the palace is home to the Sultan's 7,000 cars, which include 365 Ferraris, 275 Lamborghinis, 258 Aston Martins, 172 Bugattis, 230 Porsches, 350 Bentleys, 600 Rolls-Royces, 440 Mercedes-Benzes, 265 Audis, 237 BMWs, 225 Jaguars, and 183 Land Rovers, most of which are custom-made. It's believed to be one of the largest private collections of cars in the world, with a reputed value of $6.4 billion. The Sultan even received the Guinness World Record for the largest collection of Rolls-Royce cars in 2011 for his 500-strong fleet of the luxury car brand. According to GQ, the Sultan and his family were believed to be behind half of the Rolls-Royces bought globally throughout the 1990s. Aside from the above-mentioned Rolls-Royces, it also includes a number of rare finds, which makes his stash even more enviable. These include a grey Lamborghini Urraco, a Ferrari 456 GT Venice, which is one of only 7 in the world, and a Porsche 959. While the Sultan has more than 500 Rolls-Royces, there is one that stands out from the rest. A wedding is a joyous occasion that requires the couple to splurge on the day. The Sultan did more than splurge. He spent a fortune. On his wedding day, the Sultan had his Rolls-Royce Silver Spur 2 stretch limousine plated with 24-karat gold. After the Sultan covered the car with gold, it was worth $14 million. Truly a car fit for a royal bride. Cars aren't the only transport that the Sultan loves to spend his money on. When you have gold cars with an umbrella platform, you can bet the luxury jets are going to be jaw-dropping too. It's claimed the Sultan has his own Boeing 747-400, Boeing 767-200, and Airbus A340-200 jets. The Boeing 747-400 is gold-plated and so luxurious that it's been nicknamed the Flying Palace. With a host of luxurious touches, such as a bespoke wooden decor throughout, there is even gold and Lalique crystal sinks in the ensuite bathroom. He apparently also gifted his daughter an Airbus A340 for her birthday. What else would a girl want? The Sultan's purchases don't stop at royal palaces or transport though. He also owns some of the most expensive properties in the world. The Brunei Investment Agency, aka the Sultan's personal company, purchased and set up the Dorchester collection of hotels. From the Dorchester in London, the Beverly Hills Hotel in LA, to Le Meurice in Paris and Hotel Eden in Rome, they're among the most exclusive residences for the super rich. You would think any one of these hotels would be the perfect home from home for the Sultan. Well, think again. For his own trips to the UK, the Sultan usually stays in St John's Lodge in Regent's Park, London. Brought by the Brunei government for almost $52 million in 1994, it's one of the most expensive private homes in the UK. The land it is on, however, is actually owned by the Crown Estates, making the Queen the Sultan's landlord. While his house and cars and planes are all very impressive, it's his frivolous spending that will shock you even more. For his 50th birthday, the Sultan declared a fortnight of celebrations in the country and organised a party which cost around $26 million. Along with a gala dinner for 3,000 people at the Royal Palace, the Sultan also paid Michael Jackson $14 million to perform at 3 concerts. The concert was held in a stadium erected just for the birthday celebration. Guests didn't leave the party empty-handed either. Everyone was given a gold medal for attending, including Prince Charles. That is some birthday bash. The Sultan is the king of excess, and he loves to bestow grand presents and jewellery on others. The peak of this happened in 1995, when he bought the London jewellers Asprey for $592 million. At the wedding of his eldest daughter, Princess Rashida in 1996, Whitney Houston was even flown in to perform for the guests at a reported cost of $7 million. It keeps on getting more ridiculous though. This is a man who reportedly pays his badminton coach $2 million per year. There's more though. The Sultan of Brunei dropped more than $24,000 on a haircut during the COVID-19 pandemic. The barber runs a barber shop at the Dorchester Hotel in Mayfair in central London and usually charges about $30 for a trim. But the Sultan doesn't have time to fly to London for a haircut, so instead flies the barber to him. Worried about catching COVID, the Sultan makes sure that his barber didn't mix with other passengers on the plane and paid $18,000 for a private luxury cabin for his barber. Apparently, the barber has been cutting the hair of the Sultan for 26 years and is paid with an envelope of cash every time. Big spending seems to run in the family. The Sultan's brother, Prince Jeffrey Bolkiah, used to race Ferraris against the Sultan at night in the streets of the capital. Later, he was the country's finance minister from 1986 to 1999, during which he used state money to fund his lavish lifestyle, including 2,000 cars. However, the leader's brother was charged with embezzling $14.8 billion when in the role. The subsequent court case to resolve it cost Jeffrey $23 million, a sum he later went to court with his lawyers over in 2011 and lost. It might be hard work having 9 jobs, but it sounds like the life of the Sultan of Brunei is worth the effort. Which part of the Sultan's life shocked you the most? Click the video on the screen to see another luxury video.